There's a wild rumor going on right now that the Dallas Cowboys are trying to trade for Pittsburgh Steelers running back Najee Harris. So, this rumor comes on the heels of the Pittsburgh Steelers declining the 5th-year option in Najee Harris's contract last week. The Steelers declined the $6.79 million that would make him now a free agent at the end of this season. So, this report came by Adam Crawley. He dropped this news on 93.7 The Fan Show on Monday morning. He suggested that the Dallas Cowboys are eyeing a trade for Najee Harris. But also, he relayed some caution in the report based upon the sources that he's getting his information from. So, before I get into the quote by Adam Crawley, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. And also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. Let's take a look at the quote said on 93.7 The Fan. Here it is. So, here's the hot Steelers trade rumor. It comes from one guy from Fansided and the other guy from Bleacher Report. So I don't know if it's the most credible thing. I also don't know if it's not because both of those guys say they have Steelers sources. And the rumor is this. The Dallas Cowboys are interested in trading for Najee Harris. And then later on, he also had this quote. I don't think that you get much in return for Najee. The report here is that it would be like a 4th-round pick for next year. That's not going to do it for me. I don't think you are a better football team without Najee Harris this year. End quote. So you see how he put out the rumor, basically talking about it, and then kind of holding it back and railing it back in. So you look at the situation about Najee Harris's contract being declined, but that doesn't mean that the Steelers have to trade him away. First off, they may just want to see how he does in an Arthur Smith type of offense, and then maybe next season they franchise tag him. You never know. Just like how Saquon Barkley got franchise tagged with the New York Giants, maybe he gets franchise tagged. So Najee Harris, it doesn't really matter that his contract got declined. Yes, you would have liked the Steelers to pick it up, but obviously they have a plan moving forward. And also, it brings up speculation like this rumor, because now you have everyone talking about, hey, why did the Steelers decline it? Is he open for trade? Is he going to be gone? So it makes you think, is Jalen Warren now the number 1 running back in terms of moving forward in the Steelers' plans? But we just don't know yet. And people are just going to be guessing, and these rumors are going to come up. And also, just because the Dallas Cowboys are interested in trading for Najee Harris, per these sources, per these rumors, doesn't mean the Pittsburgh Steelers are interested in trading away Najee Harris. Someone could be interested, but then you cannot be interested in the discussion. So it has to go both ways. It can't just go one way. And these are probably what's happening right now in the rumor hill. Also, just talking about how he said he would go for like only a 4th-round pick, that would be absolutely nothing and not a good move for the Steelers. Why would they want only a 4th-round pick for a player they picked in the 1st round 4 years ago, who's in their 4th season right now, and he just had 3 1,000-yard seasons, the only NFL player in the last 3 years to get over 1,000 yards running in all 3 of them. So why would they trade away him for a 4th-round pick for next year's draft? Not even someone who could help the team this year or a player that could help them this year. They would only now have Jalen Warren, Cordell Patterson at the running back spot, and would have to move forward with only one basically running back full time. So that just doesn't make sense, and a 4th-round pick would do absolutely nothing for them, and it would not be a great return based off the draft compensation they spent in the past to get Najee Harris. So that doesn't make sense on that front either. One last thing on this topic before I move on to a different topic about Najee Harris. There's been a big story going on about Najee Harris, and this was it. This was the big story going on, and it caught everyone's attention. All the Cowboys fans, all the Cowboys reporters dug into the story. Steelers media started digging into it, and it became a big thing. So it became a big enough thing, this rumor, that even Cowboys insider and reporter had to go ask the team about it. And Jane Slater of ESPN said about these talks, on these reports of Najee Harris and the Cowboys, team sources tell me this is clickbait. So Obviously, she dug into the report, she dug into the rumor, and she found out, and the team told her that it was clickbait. It's not true. This is just a made up story and false rumors at this time of year in the off season. There's rarely anything to talk about, so people are going to be making stuff up, and this was something that was made up, and the Cowboys are not looking to trade for running back Najee Harris. So, ESPN reporter shuts this down after this rumor was going wild. But you probably know why this rumor was even brought up to begin with. Obviously, the Cowboys are in a dire need of a running back. They just got Ezekiel Elliott, and he's really the same type of player than Najee Harris is in terms of being a big back, someone who's going to run through you and not really going to run around you. So they got rid of Tony Pollard, did not sign him this offseason. So as of right now, they shipped away Ezekiel Elliott and didn't return him back to the team last offseason, but now he'll be the starter for this season. That's kind of why this rumor is brought up too, is because the Dallas Cowboys really need a running back and they missed out on the Derrick Henry. So obviously the Cowboys need a running back, and then the Steelers declined his option. So you just go mismatch the two, find a rumor, start it, and bring it to the media and have everyone talk about it. So that's why this rumor was probably also brought up, but it got declined after all and said it was fake. Anyway, enough with this story and false trade rumors about Najee Harris. One thing I want to talk about that I've seen in the media, the Steelers media, about Najee Harris is how he's going to be complaining behind the scenes and he might be causing a big problem this year in Pittsburgh. I've seen that. There's an article, there's some quotes about a Steelers insider reporter saying this, and it's Mark Kaboly. He said this: potentially, I mean, he's a very unique character. He's hard to get a read on. Sometimes he's cranky, and sometimes he's talkative. My biggest concern right now is which one are you going to get during the regular season here? Is he going to be sitting and moaning and complaining behind the scenes? I'm not quite sure right now because he's a very intriguing individual that can go either way at this point. End quote. So the person saying this is the insider reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mark Kaboly, someone who's in the locker room, interviews these players, is around these players at practice and stuff like that on the sideline. So obviously he has some inside information. He knows how his mood changes a bit, but in terms of saying this, that you're not sure if he's going to cause a problem, you're basically just making things up at this point. You have no idea if he's going to cause a problem or not. You're just saying this to cause a story and to write about something. So obviously, Najee Harris, we all know his contract. He's been very open about it. He's been very open about other running backs and how the running back market is terrible and other running backs in this league are not paid fairly. He's been one of the open people to talk about it and voice their concern around the league in terms of the running back position not being a great position of value and not be taken serious. So Mark Kaboly is probably coming from an angle here about, hey, he's talked about this in the past, and other players, they've sat out, they've held out for a contract, and maybe since Najee Harris has been so open about that, then maybe he does the exact same thing. Maybe he holds out because of the option, and he is in a contract year now, so maybe he holds out for another contract, and he doesn't want to risk an injury, and maybe he sits on the sideline, just like Deontay Johnson did many years ago, TJ Watt did, Minka Fitzpatrick did, set out a training camp for a new contract. So this is the angle that he's taking on here, but in my eyes, we're going to just have to wait and see. This is all a waiting game. This is all guessing of what a player might do. So we're actually going to have to wait till Najee Harris goes to training camp, goes to mini camp, and see if he's practicing or is he on the sideline. Does he want a new contract, or does he think that he's going to play through it and maybe boast his stats and in this new offense get a greater deal than what maybe he would be even worth right now? Maybe he has a breakout season under a new offensive line and he gets $10 million instead of getting that $7 million that he would have got right now in terms of the option in his contract. So you never know what goes on during an NFL season. Maybe he gets injured. Maybe he shows that out. You don't know what goes on. But this is a story going on. That's why I heard. That's why I've seen Mark Kaboly report. And I just want to talk about it a little bit just because we're talking about the Najee Harris's contract, trade rumors, and everything like that. I might as well just bring up this topic and share my thoughts on that as well. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. But let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this situation. Just both the topics I talked about, just the trade rumors, how Najee Harris and the Dallas Cowboys may have interest, but then that getting shut down. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers should look to move on from him before he's a free agent and trade him and just move on and have Jalen Warren be the number 1, Cordell Patterson be the number 2? Or do you believe that it should stick it out with Najee Harris and a 4th round pick would be nothing in return? And if he leaves in free agency, he leaves in free agency. Also, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about Mark Gaboli saying that Najee Harris may be causing a problem in the locker room and on the field by holding in or holding out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, analysis, highlights, film breakdowns, and everything like that. I cover everything Pittsburgh Steelers. I've covered it all off season, and I'll continue to cover it as we get into the season. So, turn on notifications, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.